Get to the bottom of the science of mustard.
Well, you know, ketchup is the most popular condiment in America, but around the world, mustard can be found in nearly every country, especially north of the equator. And that really tells us how important this is, and I think it's very polarizing. And Brooke and I were talking earlier, you have very strong opinions about mustard.
Yeah. I do.
It lives in the shadow of ketchup.
It sure does.
And mayo's got its own thing going on. Poor mustard's all
You
the
won't
time.
find ketchup around the world, but mustard you will. So.
That's right, that's right.
Very American.
All right, so what is mustard? Let's just start there.
So my favorite chef calls mustard seeds the chili peppers of the northern hemisphere. And the reason he says this is actually because in colder climates, obviously chili peppers don't grow, but we as humans like that tingle. We like something that's a little spicy on the tongue, and we've found that in mustard seeds. Mustard seeds don't have capsaicin, which is what makes a chili pepper spicy. What they have is something called an isothiocyanate, which Kim Douglas...
Oh, Kim.
Remember a couple days ago for burns, Olivia, did you know for burns you can put mustard?
A little bit of mustard. Because these isothiocyanate compounds are enzymes that are actually, they're irritants. So they draw blood to an area, and we've used them since Roman times to sort of cure aches and pains. And when you crush these seeds up and mix them with water, these compounds, which are called myrosin and sinigrin, they actually create mustard oils. And suddenly you have this very strong, potent, and spicy mixture. Now, that reaction does not happen at all if you mix it with vinegar. So this is what's interesting.
So without the vinegar, mustard is a spice.
Yeah, it's actually kind of like a hot sauce a little bit there. So I want to show you guys this right now. I just have some ground up mustard seed. These are exactly the same. They're both yellow mustard seed ground up. This is pure white vinegar. And you'll see when I whisk this in, and you're going to taste it, the vinegar actually completely neutralizes that chemical reaction. And what you have is something kind of, tart and acidic and vinegary, but you don't have really any of that heat that we associate with, let's say, wasabi or some of those other...
So we can make our own mustard at home.
Oh my God, you absolutely can. I want you guys to try this. I want you to dip those spoons in there and get a taste of this. That's the more mild mustard. Now you'll see, while they're tasting that, I'm mixing just some plain water in with this mustard powder.
No, this is paleo.
A little tart. A little vinegary, but not very spicy.
So if when you make a salad dressing, you often put vinegar in. Does that mean that takes away the strength of it when you put the vinegar in them?
Well, if you're using prepared mustard in your salad dressings and you're adding extra vinegar, that prepared mustard has already been sort of neutralized by vinegar in it. Now this is just mixed with water, and you will taste something completely.
Okay, so is this going to be like hot sauce? We
This
better be careful.
This one's going to be a little more fire,
Exactly.
as it were.
Thank you. Try
Do you make your own mustard at home?
That's the reaction we were looking for.
I like it. Wow. My husband loves mustard. He just
So this is what's fascinating about mustard. With just water, that chemical reaction is free to occur, and you get something that clears your sinuses entirely.
Totally.
That's good. Right up your nose, right?
Oh my God.
Oh my gosh.
Dan, you did this on purpose.
Absolutely. All in the name of chemistry.
That's like eating a whole thing of wasabi.
Yes.
Yes.
It's the same. So wasabi also has isothiocyanate.
And we don't really identify mustard with spice. I mean, I would never think about the raw form.
Right. And so if you like something that's milder, and for instance, this yellow mustard over here, French's yellow mustard is just mustard seed mixed with vinegar. That's why it has none of that fire to it.
Like the first one we tried.
The first one we tried.
Why do all the mustards look so different?
Okay, so this kind of comes down to mustard seed in general. There's three kinds of mustard seed: yellow, brown, and black. And all of these will actually grow up into something called mustard greens, which I think, Debbie, you said you love mustard greens.
I love mustard greens. They're delicious.
And so it's a vegetable that you can eat, and it actually has some of that flavor of mustard with it. Once you have the seeds and pick it, the darker they are, the spicier they'll be, the more compounds they have. But all it takes to make mustard at that point is crushing it up and mixing it with a liquid if you want something that's hot. So for instance, if you go to a Chinese restaurant and you have hot Chinese mustard, guess what?
That's it.
That's it.
That's
it's
it.
just ground up mustard seed with water. There's nothing else.
How are the seeds? Are they underground? Is it like from the base of the leaf?
Yeah, it grows underneath. Yeah, and if we look at all the kinds of mustard that are available to you, obviously if you mix honey in, you've got suddenly honey mustard. If you move over here, this is kind of spicy brown mustard. This is something that uses a mix of water and vinegar.
Which is your favorite, Dan? What kind of mustard
So
do you?
I'm a little
Since you're a
biased.
mustard expert.
I'm a little biased. My favorite mustard is something that I make at home, and I either make it with hard cider or with beer. And we've got the recipe for you online. It's so easy to make, and honestly, it keeps for months in the fridge. So there's no excuse not to make this weekend.
Okay.
Can we taste that one?
Is that what we have
That's what
here?
you have.
Okay.
You have it.
we have?
You have that with your bread.
All right.
What do you use your mustard on at home?
I mean, I love mustard on a good sandwich, but also I love mustard on pork chops. I actually love mustard in salad dressings. I think it's a very underutilized condiment.
What's the difference between hard cider and beer in the mustard? This is hot.
Flavor. I mean, cider.
That's strong. Ooh. That is strong.
Wow. My husband,
Flavor, that's it?
Got some heat.
My
to it.
husband
Got
would
some
love
heat.
my husband's French, and they put mustard on their steak.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and Dijon mustard actually.
Dijon
like we've
mustard
got
in our
here,
salad dressings,
is
yeah.
famous
Yeah,
for
in the
being made
salad.
with the juice of unripe grapes. That's the liquid they use there.
So could you basically use any liquid? Could I put orange juice
Yeah,
in
you
it if
can
I
use
wanted?
anything. And you know, in Italy they have something called mostarda. Now that is made with fruit. So if you stir fruit into it, and this is what I'm telling you, mustard is eaten above the northern hemisphere in nearly every country.
And it's
So what's
delicious.
the best powdered one you can get?
I mean, for powdered, I love Coleman's. I think you
Okay.
can't go wrong with that.
I'm going to get some of that and I'm going to try
Yeah,
it.
me
Please do.
too.
Please do.